5 nights a week and felt so chic. They called us the pop kids, 'cause we love the pop hits and quoted the best bits. So we were the pop kids. I loved you. I loved you. They called us the pop kids. It was a wet Wednesday night. We worried that no one would be going out. How wrong we were. When we turned the corner, there was already a queue stretching down the street. We swept straight in, and you said, "Oh, I like it here. Oh, I love it. Oh, I like it here. Oh, I love it. I like it here. I love it. I like it here. I am never going home. They call us the pop kids, 'cause we love the pop hits and quoted the best bits. So we were the pop kids. I loved you.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Gayxyz show. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. I love that song. What song was that? Who sang that?
That's by the Pet Shop Boys. It's called The Pop Kids. It's from their new album, Super.
So it's current. Okay, that's what I was kind of thinking. Was like this could be current, but it also kind of obviously sounds like new wave. kind of vibe. I love it.
Well, that's where they came. They came out of the whole, 80s or new wave era, and that's what they do. Yeah. But yeah, it's brand new. Just came out Tuesday. So I love this album. It's great. And that's one of the new songs on the album.
I like it as well.
Yes, and also, by the way, it's
It's very rare that we all three.
I know.
enjoy it.
That's
Right?
so true. It's so true. I'm surprised you liked it, Jason, at all.
That one.
Right. So welcome to another fabulous Tuesday evening here at the Gayxyz show. You are listening to your 3 favorite gay bitches,
Woo!
Donovan, Christian, and Jason. Feel free to call in at any time. The number is 214-377-0481. Like, I really need y'all to call in, like, for real, okay? Or you can Skype us at Off Limits. Is it Off Limits Radio?
Off Limits Show.
Off Limits Show, excuse me.
That's okay.
We do it. As you see, we do something a little different tonight, okay? So it may be slightly ratchet, so just bear with us. But so anyway, we have plenty of topics to talk about. We got plenty of shit to talk about tonight. So first, we are going to discuss. Oh, you know what? I wanted to talk about the dad murdering his son for being gay. What the fuck is that all about?
Yeah, not horrible.
It is.
Yeah, the guy, I don't know, apparently he came out as gay to his dad or whatever, and he murdered him because he was not going to change and he was going to have a son that's gay or blah, blah, blah. The typical story. And so he killed him. He killed him, and he's killed his mother, too. He killed his wife or girlfriend or whatever as well. So, I mean, that's some major homophobia. And what I've always said about people who are that homophobic is if you're that homophobic, you're gay. I'm sorry, but you're gay.
Yeah.
You got something going on.
I believe in that always.
Yes, because if you have that much rage because you're unable to be yourself because of whatever reason, you've got to kill people or beat people up or whatever, then obviously there's an issue there. And I just think it's sad that somebody lose their life. But what about, do you think, the reason I was interested in that story is I was wondering what you guys thought about your parents. Do you think your parents would have ever kicked you out, or if you'd lived at home when you came out, or, killed you as a result of that?
Yeah, I mean, luckily for me, I was very blessed to have a loving and understanding, accepting mother. My father passed away when I was really young, so I grew up in a single mother household with my brother, um, and my mom has always been a really strong Christian and a strong believer. Obviously, my name's Christian. But at the end of the day, regardless of anybody, the color of their skin or what they believe or who they are, she loves everybody. And, um,
Good.
it was a hard pill for her to swallow at first. And, we didn't talk about it for a good year. But obviously we're over that now. That was a decade ago.
Right.
And, I'm very blessed to not have had to experience any of that.
What about you, Jason?
Good. For me, it was a little different. When I initially told my mom, she was disappointed. We did well. I don't think. Now that I think about it, I don't think she threatened to kick. Well, yeah, I don't think she threatened to kick me out, but she would kind of she wouldn't say it. But if you put two and two together, she was like, well, you need to abide by my rules because, yada, 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 yada. So, and that went on for maybe a few months. But then after that, she just kind of came around and now, everything is gravy.
Well, good.
So,
good.
Yeah. So everything is good. Everything is good. I just really, really hate to hear stories like this because we already have enough shit going on in the gay community and, and people struggling to come out, struggling with their sexuality and, trying to figure out, if they want to come out, if they want to stay in the closet, that type of thing. And then you hear something like this, it just really puts fear into people who are struggling with being themselves.
Well, and the thing the biggest problem is your parents are supposed to be there to protect you and love you. And that's the last person that any child should ever have to worry about harming them. And I think that's the saddest part of it is that his own father killed him because he's
Do you know where this happened at?
It was in L.A., Los Angeles, which is interesting. You might think it would be happening in the Deep South or something, right? But no, it was in L.A. L.A. But it's in kind of a poor community, and the reason I mention that is because I'm not saying that rich people are not also equally as homophobic, but typically people with less money are more religious a lot of the times, you know what I mean? And therefore that sometimes plays into their beliefs, and therefore they're often more homophobic than people who are a little more educated.
Right.
So
Exactly. So, yeah. So, I mean, our condolences go out to the family and everything, and the dad needs to have his ass locked up. I'm sure that's already happened. So, and he gets whatever the fuck he deserves. So, fuck you. Anyway, speaking of the Deep South, which is a perfect segue, Horn Lake, Mississippi has been named the best town to live in for African Americans. Now, this hits me in more than one way. Okay, so as everyone knows, I'm originally from Memphis. Horn Lake, Mississippi is only 15 minutes outside of Memphis, okay? So, now, when I first read this article and it made national news, I kind of had mixed reviews about it, okay? And then I'm going to say what I need to say about it, and y'all can chime in. So when they originally came out with this article saying that Horn Lake, Mississippi was the one of the best towns for African Americans to live in, initially I was like, oh, okay, this is good, especially coming from Mississippi, okay? And I was like, oh, this is, things are really turning around, and everything's doing great compared to 100 years ago when Mississippi was a totally different situation going on about 100 years ago. So I was like, things have really progressed. But then I thought to myself, because y'all know how I think, I was like, is this secretly a trap? Because I'm gonna tell you why. Because I was thinking to myself, I was like, why wouldn't you just say best towns to live in for everyone? Why would it be just African Americans? Because not that I have an issue with African Americans living there, because there's already quite quite a bit of a population of African Americans living there already. But I feel like it's going to bring people with the negativity and crime. It's going to bring more crime and that type of thing. So of course I get on Facebook and I read the comments. There was, it's either one end of the spectrum or the other. There's nothing in the middle, right? Well, there's a few people in the middle, but a few comments were like, oh, that's good for them. Mississippi is really progressing and they're really trying to change their ways and yada, 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 yada. Then you had other people that was like, go ahead and bring in all the baby mamas and the baby daddies, and go ahead and bring in more crime to the city. I was like, okay, so are y'all just trying to just pretty much put out there that all African Americans are just.
So you're saying that the other African Americans that live there already are somehow perpetuating some kind of ploy against people, or that the fact they just don't want them there? What are you saying exactly? I'm confused. You're saying the KKK is doing it, or the black people there are doing it?
No. Just I'm just talking about just comments from primarily white people that were on there. They were just saying things like, "Oh, well, I live here. I live near the area, and now since this article has came out, Memphis is already crime ridden, and now you're trying to bring the crime up Horn Lake, and that type of thing." And I was like, "What?"
Because they're black people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, people are gonna move where they want to move, whether you like it or not. Like, you can't control that, even though I'm sure there are quite a small percentage of people that wish they could. But you can't control that. And I mean, like, people are going to live where they want to live. Now, you did have people in the middle, kind of like me in the middle as well. It was like, why would you even say African Americans? Just say it's the best town for people to live in, period. Which they had a valid point. So what are you guys' thoughts on
Where
that?
did this article come from exactly?
Well, I follow one of the local news stations back home, but it's been reposted on other sites.
But I mean, the people who said, who decided that it was the best town for black people to live in? Who made that decision?
You know what?
I'm just asking, because was it black people or white people? Yeah. Because if it was black people who decided that, then I can see why they would want to, I guess, say that. But if it was white people saying that, I might be a little suspicious about it. I guess I don't know.
Okay, so the study was done by Livability. I've never heard of them. It says that a site that categorizes the best places to live for different groups of people.
Okay, so they categorize all of their lists for different groups of people depending on race or whatever.
Sexuality, gender, whatever.
Okay, well, that's why they said it was just for black people. That makes sense then. I mean, it wasn't like a racist thing, I think.
Right. No, I understand that. But now, when social media, people on social media really just kind of twist and fuck things up. They were saying that, but now they're just like, oh, I don't want any more black people in my town type of deal. Yeah. So I'm just like...
Well, that's
I'm not afraid with. I'm not,
Well, Jason, it's always going to be like that. I mean, as long as there are racists in the world, there's always going to be racists in the world, especially in America, and especially against black people. So there's always going to be people who don't want black people living around them because of their perceived whatever they perceive about them to be, or Hispanic people or whatever. And I know, honestly, I've known people who are black who lived in black, quote unquote, black communities who didn't want white people living in their community either. Because they felt that they had kind of their own sort of culture there, and they didn't want it to be infiltrated by people other than themselves. And so I don't think it's about race so much as it is about the fact that people